Welcome, welcome, one. Welcome everybody. Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club. Welcome our our Zoom meeting, folks. My name is Joe Hawley. I'm president of the NCARC. Let's go around the room and see who you are. Let's start out over there with Greg. See you. How about you guys in Zoom? Carrie, I see you out there. Unmute yourself and say who you are. That didn't work. Oh well, maybe next time. Um, for your information, I have copies of the Tribander. If you have not got this, I got four or five copies of this stuff. We pass it around. Whoever wants it. If you didn't know what we're doing, we're trying to take a lot of the stuff that we normally do, like all the rest of this, you know, financial reports and things like that, and put them into here so you can actually have a little time to look at it, other than to throw it on the screen and stuff like that. So if you need a copy of that, please holler, and we'll just pass them around here. Go ahead, take one, or pass them around, whatever. You do get those emailed to you. It was last week, I think, that you guys sent it out, wasn't it, Bill? Okay. By the way, I have a new addition to our news group. Bill is kindly, Bill Peach has basically kindly said that he would help out Ann. Ann has a lot of things that she does, and it sometimes gets in the way of doing the stuff for us. How dare she? I mean, we pay her well. Yeah, right. So thank you, Bill, for doing that. I do appreciate that. That's great. A couple things I want to bring up. The Grover Project. For the people who don't know what we're trying to do out there, um, we're working with Rocky Mountain Ham to build a linking system that will go all the way probably to Sterling and beyond. And we're linking it at the Grover Tower, which is owned by Well County. In the last month or so, we have chose to go a different way with this thing. Along with the linking system, we're going to add a repeater in there of our own, which will give us coverage, we figure, all the way to Scottsbluff, Nebraska, the way it looks. So that means when you talk to possibly, and if we link it, and we haven't got to that discussion yet, but I do think we're talking about linking it permanently to the Buckhorn repeater. That means if you talk to Buckhorn, you can talk to your friends in Scottsbluff, Nebraska, direct. Kind of proud of that. And I blame it all on the guys, the staff that we've got. It's just, they come up with these great ideas, and I appreciate it. They're just doing that. But right now where we're at it is we've upgraded, we got approval for the linking system. What we didn't get approval for was the actual adding the repeater, because that was kind of an afterthought. So we've sent that addendum, if you will, to them folks, and I've heard that they're looking at it really. We may not have to change anything, but I haven't gotten any okays for that yet. When we do that, we're going to look for people that want to come up and help us do this. It's going to be a pretty simple job because we've been up there, we know where we're going to put it. Everything will be pre-assembled, and basically it'll take a couple hours to do it. If you've never been there, it's amazing. It's on a ridge up there that's above the wind farm. You look down over the wind farm, and James took his little HT there and had less than, I think he took 5 milliwatts or something like that, and actually hit Horsetooth. So it's up there a ways. So it's a real big advantage for us to do that. The next thing I want to talk about is the Red Feather project. We've got a couple people that had come to us and asked us if we could put a repeater up there at Red Feathers, and we are all for this. However, we're looking for a place for this. James has got 2 that he's looking at. One, I think he's discounted. I don't know who the names are. I don't think we can do it because what we do is we run a map and see how well it is, see how well the propagation would be. And the second one, I don't know if he's done or not. So if you've got some ideas where we could put a repeater up there, it's going to be a combination repeater, probably DMR/analog both, which we will link probably to Buckhorn, Horsetooth, or something like that, where we can get up there. That's what we're going to do. If you got some ideas, please send me a note at NCARC, at president@ncarc.net, and we will definitely put it on the list and look it up on the map, see if it'll work. Because we really need to get something up there. We've been talking about this for, what, 2-3 years now? So we went that way. Makes no sense. Any questions about that? Okay, who can tell me what rosin cores is? Cores. Not core, cores. It's what? DIY. Yeah, do it yourself. What we did 4 years ago, I think it was, is we came up with a thing somewhat similar to what Longmont does, and David, you know about this, the solder sniffers. I wish I would have stole that name. That is so cool. I don't know who did that. Jim, I think it was, came up with that, or Jerry, somebody. But anyway, it's a hands-on type thing, projects. And we were going to work with the city of Fort Collins, and then COVID hit, and we got shot down. So, and they're still not open on weekends where we want to go. Plus, there was a charge and various other things. So we're looking for a place that we can solder in. If you guys, if somebody knows of a place that we can actually do soldering and various things like that, be helpful, contact me directly. And can't be outside, and got to have enough power to be able to pull some soldering irons down and things like that. Because I think the one and only class we had, I think we had 20 people, I think, in the thing. Of course, one guy brought a torch. He's a good friend of mine, too. I won't mention his name. He's not here today. So,
Joe brings up a good rule: no torches.
Please, no torches. Any questions about any of that stuff? I know this is the board. Yes, sir. The question was, when is what event? And when we get a place. Yeah, as long as we can put stuff out. We've got projects. We've got 3 projects already in the works that we can do. We just want a place that we can kind of be there permanently. I know we've had people ask, hey, we can do this in such and such a month and things like that, and then we're bouncing back and forth, and that there's really not a lot of continuity to it. So if you found me a place today, I would set up something probably in October and have it every other month. Okay, great, thanks. We're looking for some, and we'll clean up. We might even pay a little bit, not a lot. We haven't got any money. We're building repeaters all over, heck. So, thank you for that. Any other questions? Okay. If you show up here next month, I'm not going to be here. I thought you were one of my biggest fans. It's our picnic next month, folks. It's on the website if you want to check it out. It's on the, I got to read my thing here. It's picnic from 11 to 4 on the September 18th, Fossil Creek, 5821 South LeMay, Fort Collins. All the rest of the stuff, if you'd like to bring a dish, you can. It's kind of a free-for-all if you've never been to one. We didn't have one last year for obvious reasons. And hopefully, my fingers are crossed that we're going to be able to pull one off this year. Why I say that is, you know why. With all the stuff that's going on, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone next week. So all that information, if you want any more information, get on the website and contact me directly, and we'll do that. Yes, Dick? Question was, what is fun radio-related things to show off? Um, bring a radio. Bring a handheld. Bring a fancy handheld. Um, Mark always brings these really strange antennas that work really well. Just whatever. We might have a fox hunt. We've had one for years. We just haven't talked about it too much because we are still debating whether COVID is a bad thing or good. you know, or whether we can handle all this and that. So, yeah, anything like that would be fun. It's not. It's just kind of everybody just kind of sits around, talks, things like that. It's a real good event, and we will supply the burgers and the buns and the pop and you bringing beer? I wish. Okay. Any questions about that? Yes, sir. Yeah, I think so. Because all I did was update. I just pulled up the old one and added to it. See how you are. Okay. I'm not sure I'm going to have a chance to get any. Any other questions? Okay. We're having a Laurel test session over at Tim's Church on September 11th. And I had the address here. 600 East Swallow. Thank you very much. All grades, all things. Laurel is free. No $15. We would like to know if you're coming, just because we have 2 rooms we're dealing with. So if you could send me a note saying, yeah, I'm fine to go, or things like that, or I'm thinking about coming, that at least gives us an opportunity to go into the medium-sized room or the large room, and we don't know that. We're having a class right now that we're doing on Wednesday nights. And it started out with 56 hits, and now we're down to 30. So, and yeah, an 80 signed up. Of course, we don't know how many people are on each hit, so we don't know that. So, but if you're interested in upgrading or something like that, let us know, and there'll be 3-4 of us over there. We'll be able to do it. We can hire more from other people and things like that if it gets too big. When we had 80 people, we were seriously thinking about doubling our size of our yeah, and having it on the basketball court. So, but we don't know now. We think we got maybe 30, if that. So, please do sign up. We are also, this is unadvertised because it's something that we just came up with. We're throwing kind of caution to the wind here because I've got a bunch of people that are going to do this. What's a hammock class? Anybody know? Yes. Since you're going to be teaching there, what is it? I'm going to tell you a little story. I shouldn't tell this because if James is on, and I don't think he is, so well, he knows the story because I've told him this. We had a hammock class after our last test session last time, okay? And this lady came up to me and asked, "You're not in your hammock class. You're not showing me how I can turn the radio on and push the button, all the rest of this stuff." And I says, "You're right." An amazing thing was this lady that was there was James Sizek, who's our tech director's sister. I'd like to blame this on James, but he's not here, so I won't. I'm going to blame this on me because I set up the course wrong. So this is going to be more of a hands-on. We're actually going to have a repeater there. We're going to bring a repeater, and Bob and James are going to go through and show you how it works. Actually works. No pictures no more. This is live. We're going to have a bunch of handheld radios, stuff like that. You all get on there and talk and talk and talk. So that'll be a lot of fun. So if you're interested, we're going to put it on the website here in a day or two. I just have been kind of hanging on because I didn't have all my instructors. Now I have those as of last night. So I'm going to put that out there. So ought to be a lot of fun. But basically it's for folks that really don't know what they're doing, like maybe me. That question was, when is it? It is September 11. I'm sorry, September 25th. It'll be from 8 to 4. 8 to 12 at the same address, 600 East Swallow. And I have no idea which room we're going to be in. Yeah. Yes, sir. Well, this one will be hopefully better. Yeah. Dick? I'm not sure we have a swallow here. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that, Daniel, because, yes, yes, sir. Yes. Yeah, the question was, the reason I'm repeating this is because they can't hear you on the net. The question was, can I have a calculator? Yes, a simple calculator you can have. We actually will supply you a calculator if you want one. Can you use a programmable one? Absolutely not. And there's a guy that's not talking to the microphone, has one right in front of him. Okay. Yeah, you can't. We can use, you can use it like he says, but we would prefer you wouldn't. No cell phones. No cell phones. Any other questions? Excellent. I'm getting along pretty good here. Let's see. I'm going to turn this thing over. We have a new agency that Aries is dealing with, and I hate to kind of change the thing from NCARC to Aries. That is a brand new agency. It's called Serve 6.8. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the microphone over to you, and I want you to tell them about it because we're recruiting people. We need people really badly over there for Aries. So, I don't know if it's on or not. Now I can't eat it. This is Ted Cotty. He's the director for Serve 6.8 for Aries.
Okay, Series 6.8 is a um, multi-functioning organization which is Christian base oriented, only in that they work with churches. And the organization provides services for anyone who walks in their door, regardless of who they are, what their income is, or whatever. And they provide food, clothing, counseling, whatever someone needs. Those are the kinds of things they provide. Where does Aries come in? They need a communication system which backs them up, and it's very different than traditional Aries, in that the control unit is part of the Aries system, but there's a subsystem that goes on underneath that which communicates with the churches, where they'll be providing housing, food, whatever you go on. So we need some people to volunteer to help out. This we're looking for as many volunteers as we can get, because the places in an emergency, the places we would need to be going to may be numerous. And so you work out of a central area first, and then you may be sent out to one of the other satellite churches to just provide backup communication if everything goes bad. So we do have an event that we did last month, where they brought in a group of people into the burn area, and the burn area has no cell phone connections or phones or anything else. So we provided a link from one central location back through Buckhorn, back to to Joe, who was monitoring the radio, if they had an accident. And so we provided at least a communications network. We've got another one coming up. They're bringing in 2 teams of, I guess you'd have to call them tree cutters. They're coming in from, I think it's Virginia and Georgia. And these people are experienced, I guess they're almost professionals. I'm not clear on what they are, but they're the people in that area that are called to come in and clear the roads, to get the fallen trees out of the way. So they know what they're doing, but they're also going back into the same area that we were in July, and they're going to be cutting trees in there. The trees they're cutting are trees which could fall and block the roadways in the wintertime. So they're going to be here from the 30th of September, pardon me, yeah, the 30th of August through the 10th of September. And we're trying to provide people that can come up and be at, there's a junction up Buckhorn Canyon. That's where you'd be centrally located. That's where you'd work out of. This is really tough work. You're going to be sitting on your duff most of the time and just communicating if something happens. The object is to provide some protection for them should an accident happen. So anyone that can volunteer to help out, not only on this event, but on future events that may happen due to an emergency or anything, we would appreciate your help. It's a totally different staffing situation than you have for Aries, where a director may have 2 or 3 spaces or places where they need people, and we have, Surf 68 needs more people because of the things that they do. I mean, they've even got, they're hooking up with a group out of Virginia that are professional emergency cooks. They have vans, they have trailers to feed people. And so they might be brought in an emergency, so we would have to provide some communications there. So if you can help, we would really appreciate it. Now, I don't see Mike. Okay. Okay. Oh, crime, he just had a mental block. Help me out, Joe. But Mike Backlund, thank you. Just went from Mike Backlund is yeah. Mike Backlund is going to be filling in for me during this next event. I have a medical situation that's going to take me out of action until sometime in November. Excuse me. So anything that you can help us with was greatly appreciated. I was signed up for some heavy duty work during the event that's coming up, and I can't do any of it. So if you can help out, sign up, give me your name, your telephone number so that I can get a hold of you, and we can get you scheduled in to help out on this event that's going to be happening in September and in the future. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You never clap when I talk. Well, this information is for 6.8, but it's basically for Tim, because I owe him a phone call. Yes, you. We're thinking about doing something else different. What the 6.8 thing is, it's an all-day deal. I sent out a thing to Aries, but this is for anybody. It's like 9 to 4 from the 1st through the 14th. Yes, the 6th also, which is Labor Day. As far as we know, that doesn't mean I have to. Yeah, I don't do it anyway, so it's obvious. Um, what we're thinking about doing is because this is such a massive event, and I haven't got 14 people that want to go up there. I've got a few folks that are interested in do it. Tim is one of them that signed up, and some other people that are in here in this room also. We're looking at possibly handing them a commercial DMR radio and have them talk to us, because they basically, when you get into the commercial business, you only the person that owns the repeater or the only has to be licensed. It means that anybody can use the radio to a certain extent. Okay, and it is such a complicated thing. And I told Tim it's changed 4 times in the last hour. I lied. It was like 6. It just all these things have kind of fell into place. That's what we're looking at. If that's the case, then we'll probably look for operators. We will have the radios available, we think. Between Jim, myself, and James, we think we've got enough to cover this thing. But again, this relies on a whole bunch of things that have to fall into place and that haven't fallen into place yet. So our third option would be to send people up there individually. So if you can do it, we'd really appreciate it. I'm kind of, for this type of an event, there are areas qualifications that we should try to meet, but I think maybe for this one, we might just say, anybody's interested, we'll show you how to do it. Yes, sir. The question was, were we going to have a station that was actually permanent up there and then bring it, just to have people use it, or that? Actually, to be honest with you, you can hit it with a handheld. The plan is the handheld. We'll supply, if we go DMR, we can do DMR or analog up there. So we feel that just if we'll supply a cache. I wouldn't want to leave a radio up there unless, because how do you do the exchange? Uh, they're not there 24 hours, so you get no, 9 to 4 is it. 4 o'clock you're done, or 5 o'clock you're done, or something like that. So there's no handoff. Question was where the site is. It's at Buckhorn Canyon.
And it's about 23 miles up the canyon. So it's, yeah. So, and the one thing that they've indicated that you can do is they're going to be over, they'll be based out of City Park Church, and they're gonna be fed over there. They're gonna stay there. They're gonna have all their meals there, and any hams that volunteer can go over there, get their breakfast, and I think they provide a lunch also. We'll get this firmed up, and then you could pick up the radio from there. And if you didn't have one on your own, you could follow them up. One of the big problems if you go up there in your own vehicle, which would be the best advantage for you, therefore you could use your radio out of your vehicle. Then you can come back on your own. But it's we're trying to give you all the opportunities to get up there and help them out.
Yeah, I'm hopefully have it by Monday or Tuesday at the latest, because we have this meeting on Tuesday. Mike, you had a question? Mike has suggested that he just be the only one up there, and I like it. But there's no dinner, you know that, don't you? There's lunch. uh, okay, I don't know how tough it is to get up there. Let's talk a little bit offline. Thank you very much for that, though. Um, are there any other questions about this? I hate to bring it up into this group, but bottom line is I'm kind of desperate. This thing, like I said, it changed so much in one day. It was just amazing. So we have a meeting from I think 4:30 till infinity, if I remember right, with these people, and we need to iron out some details. Aries is not one that really that does all this stuff every day for a week or a month. We're not really into that kind of thing, but we might have to be for 6.8. And like I said, if you can help out, we'd really appreciate it. It's very important work that these people are doing, to the point that it could be saving some lives and things like that. So. And I've worked with Mike a little bit, Mike Walker over there, and he seems like he's really a dedicated person. Interesting person. He's been a cop, fireman, and a priest. That's kind of a interesting bunch of. So really good guy, and very knowledgeable, very bright. So we're going to work with him and see what we can do. He's been gone for a couple of weeks, so we haven't seen anything. Any other questions? I'll just tell you from the treasurer's standpoint, we got a little bit of money. That's because we bought all the stuff all ahead of time. The only thing that I think would be a management is or a problem would be is if we get a red feather site, we might have to buy some stuff. We've got repeaters for it, but I don't know. Greg, do we have enough stuff to fill another site up? Okay, just the microwave. Yeah, I don't know. That would probably the question. Yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of people that are involved in that. Does the Zoom group have any questions or anything for us? I guess not. Well, anyway, I'm going to turn this over to Bill, our newsletter person, and he will be introducing our speaker for this evening, this morning.
Good morning. Tim Henson, his call sign N5TNM. W5TNM. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I didn't read the hat. Yeah, well, I've known Tim and I worked together. Gosh, almost 25 years ago. We were both at Oracle at the time, but he's currently down in Los Alamos. And what's you're you're in project management now, so. But gosh, we've talked about a number of things, including sailboats and ham radio, many years. He finally got licensed 3 years ago, and he's currently living just west of Taos, and he's the president of the Taos Amateur Radio Club. And if you want to talk to him about living off the grid, he and his wife Karen live completely off the grid now. So, but I was talking to Tim and exchanging emails, and he wanted to get local students involved in ham radio, and so he was able to get a grant through the Amateur Radio Club there, actually from a federal entity, U.S. National Lab in Los Alamos, and they funded a number of Anytone 868 radios and got involved with DMR. And so he's going to talk about the getting the grant and the classes, etc. So with that, I'll turn it over to Tim.
All right, thank you, Bill. Where am I going to be? Back here?
Somewhere with this.
Okay. Will we be able to see slides? Yeah. Okay. Very good. Oh, that's it. Yeah, so I always had a desire to get a ham license. I think it started in the 60s when I was in the 70s when I was watching the World War II movies, the guys on the islands, doing CW. And so it took me a little while to get there, but I finally made it. So let's go to the next slide, please. Yeah, so the Taos Club, it was a tiny, it's still a tiny club, but there was a prior club. It dissolved. We have repeaters on multiple mountains. A couple shacks are above 10,000 feet. In fact, Saturday next week, we're taking a couple work groups up to do some work on those. So we have really great coverage. We operate out of the Taos County Emergency Operations Center. We started out years ago before I got there. 2012 is when they started out with a little grant from Homeland Security to get some basic equipment in the house. and start computing. So nothing else really happened. A 501c3 occurred. We didn't realize at the time what that was going to do for us, but we're all happy and celebrated. And so we went ahead and did that. So yeah, 48 member club, and we operate off of about 1.5K a year. The Forest Service leases, they're 126 bucks a year. We can talk a lot about that offline. But we have 17K in the kitty. And so next slide, please. And I will thank Joe for running through the names here when we did the intros, because the very last club meeting I was in 1990, there was a guy sitting to my right, so know who's on your right side. This is not on the slide, okay? At a Golden Corral, all right, and we did 50 weeks of navigation training, 50 weeks for sailing. And at the end of the class, I said, somebody asked me if I knew who this Graham was. On my right-hand side, it's like, yeah, Graham. I've been sitting with him for 50 weeks. That was Alexander Graham Bell III. He was, yeah, he was a PhD double E. This was a Texas Instruments Sailing Club. So that was my lead-in, but I thought I had to throw it in since I'm in the Golden Corral, you know. All right. So, yeah, so we started exploring grants. The individuals there, like a lot of folks here, probably, you know, have a lot of radio equipment. So we wanted to really find out what we could do, what the grant possibilities were for us. Yeah, I work at Lano. Had to do a non-compete. There's no way I could compete with Lano, but I had to make sure it was above board and they knew what I was doing. So you see they have many opportunities there. So as a club, we kind of got together and we talked about what's our best opportunity to do something for the community. It's like, well, we could do analog, but that doesn't quite have the buzz, doesn't quite have the kid interest, you know, that we want to generate on that. So we're down there, we're kind of getting into DMR, working with Rocky Mountain Ham Club just a little bit. Brian Milchowski's running the show down there for us. So we all decided, well, let's do DMR. It has digital in it, maybe to get some kids excited. And so we put a STEM grant together. So if you want to work with kids, throw STEM, high school, DMR, and you're going to get some money. That's what happened to us. So yeah, DMR was a sell job and the commitment. So next slide, please. So we had to go through, you know, the paperwork, the scope, the budget, all those kind of project management kind of things. And I'm a project manager for like 30 years, so I probably overdo it a little bit. But we got buy-in from the high school principal, which was something that that club had tried to do for a long time. And they'd gone out for a demo or two over a period of time, and things didn't quite click, okay? So in these grants, we had to go to the high school, say what we want to do, when, and why. And basically, we got a 1-year timeline to go execute this project. Next slide, please. And so, taking the fun part away, you know, there's a lot of red tape we have to go through, you know, getting registered with the state attorney general, etc. It was fairly easy to make a case for teaching kids, getting the money to do that, because it's a very disadvantaged school. There's like 680 students there, and almost all of them are on some type of government subsidy, school lunches, or whatever the case may be. And so Los Alamos, there's 7 surrounding counties, and they're trying to pump as much, I'll say, money into the surrounding areas as possible to be a good neighbor, help the communities out in this poor area. So yeah, so we decided, yeah, spread the gospel, the DMR gospel at the Taos High School. We created a curriculum on what we will train and how we will train them, the training topics. We'll see that in a minute here. We decided, since we didn't want to go through all the formality, and all of us had jobs or other activities we were involved in, we were going to run this as an intramural event. So we've got co-sponsors. within the club. Teachers, one of the teachers, we have 3 co-sponsors right now, actually 4. Just picked up another one allegedly this week. And so running it as a kind of a club intramural event is the way that we decided to do it without going through the formality of setting a complete program together with all those check boxes that teachers have to do that we don't know. They often do that for multi-years, but we were doing it for a project, so we didn't want to overload ourselves. The grant was for $5,000. Right out of the gate, we know that we're at a deficit, $970. Okay, we're going to cover that within the club. We have folks that'll help out. One of our goals is really create a self-sufficient, ongoing training environment within the high school, basically a STEM DMR program. Try and catch the kids when they're young, and some of them will go on, like, look at how many years it took me to get to HAM, but let's start them early and maybe they won't drift away so long for so many decades, and be there and help us work. So next slide, please. Yeah, so the digital catchy, that was good. We kind of lucked out. As I said, we had multiple runs in the past at the high school. Various folks tried various things and it never really clicked. But we're lucky that the principal's father, a silent key, she grew up in a ham house, and she is going to get her license. She doesn't currently have them, but they have the tower in the backyard, the neighbors complaining, all that kind of stuff. So she pretty well knows what she's getting into it. We committed to getting 18 students licensed, 3 staff members to test them, etc. Oh, you can come on over, don't worry. All right. We're not going to stop it at 18 students. Go ahead, Joe. Don't want to deny your coffee. All right. Okay. So, yeah. So if we get more than 18 students, and we did open this up down to the junior high, junior high level. We have folks in the club that we're going to provide ultimately those 868 radios that we bought. I did check with Brian Molshowski and to make sure they were compatible. I know out there on the website, there's some don't buys. We felt pretty sure, pretty confident with the Anytone 868. So there's a lot of folks in the club that are going to the Anytones. We're going to buy some more on another grant that we have. But that's kind of getting to be like our baseline HT there. Sure. Oh, okay. So we bought 21 of these in one thing, and this may be something you all can do as well. Oh, yes. Okay. The question is, what is a Bridgecom affiliate? Since we bought 21 Anytones, we were offered an affiliate by Bridgecom. I think I said Tone. Bridgecom Systems, something a lot of you probably have purchased from. And they gave us a code, and I put it on our website. And any purchase that uses that code, we get 10%. The club gets 10%. So if you're not doing that, look at doing that. And it doesn't cost you any additional. It's the same flat price they have on there. It's a program, Cody, that you see on many of the YouTubes. He runs that. So yeah, that's we have some the +3s we're going to buy on another grant, so we'll be using that. So yeah, putting money right back into the kitty from our grants, very legitimate, and helps us all out. So our approach is crawl, walk, run, simplex. Okay, get the kids talking together on simplex. Walk, some local repeaters. We have an old analog repeater, and we're going to buy a new DMR repeater and put that up. Where we're going to put it, we quite haven't decided yet. And the run, in talking to Brian, we didn't want to overrun Rocky Mountain Ham Club with a lot of inexperienced operators, but I talked to Brian, and if they're mature enough, we don't. This is a TBD. You know, if they're mature enough, they can handle it. You know, we'll make that doorway there. Another way to make that doorway is make each individual kid program their own code plug, and there's a little more about that. Yeah, if they get that far, if they're that dedicated. But we have a code plug approach. We'll get to that one here in a second. Okay. Yeah, additional scope outside of that original grant is the repeater and HF station for the high school. So they definitely have an interest for that. So, all right, next slide, please. Okay. So yeah, one thing leads to another. Grant makers pick investments most likely to succeed. You know, one of the approaches, we have all these people that can give tests, you know, et cetera. You know, a lot of VEs. You know, for us, a lot of VEs. I think we have 7 out of a club of 48. STEM is always a good bet. So we took the experience from Grant 1 and immediately got a second grant for 12.8 from a private foundation, and that's where we put in additional funds because we're already $970 short of the original grant for the DMR repeater there, and then equipment for a second site that we have that we think that we're getting. I think there was a walkthrough yesterday. The shortest version is we're in the county emergency operations center. We're trying to create friendly competition between the county and the city, and the city's supposed to give us the old police station with an 80-foot tower, so, and a trailer. So we're kind of looking forward to that. Yeah. So part of the HF station, we had a silent key. The widow, we went over, gave her what she asked, which is about 25 cents on the dollar, and multiple stations. Right now we have so much equipment is stacked up, we don't have any place to put it. So that's why we hope we get the police station, because they have good locks there too. So let's go with next slide, please. So the curriculum, what we're going to teach them, how we're going to teach them. It's based on the ARL tech book. Okay, so buy a book for everybody. We know that's boring. We know that's going to hold their focus for about 15 minutes. There's pictures in it, so that's a good thing. So ham test online. If you do anything with kids, they gave us a super good rate, $10 for kids under 18. So if you get into the teaching of the youngsters, they have a program for that. So yeah, that is really good. We're real happy about that. I asked for free, okay, but I didn't get it. And when you start doing these things, you ask for free. The late Don Rumsfeld, I asked him for $25,000 when he was still alive. I didn't get it. He lives in our area, but you got to ask too. You know, and a lot of times you'll get something. So yeah, what we're gonna do, we have quite a list of workshops, just getting the FRNs. When you get kids together, that's a little lab amongst themselves. Okay, test, and we haven't done the testing yet. All right, teach programming analog with chirp, pretty simple. All right, and it comes back. It's yet it's yet to prove that the DMR is going to be easy for them, since we haven't done that yet. You know, we haven't tested them, but yeah, we definitely thought let's take the upper step and go to DMR. Getting the digital radio IDs, all those are labs when you get kids together. We have a code plug volunteer creator in the background, KB5 NFT Dale, and so he's making multiple code plugs for us that we just plug in, let kids play, wreck it, copy it over, go back and forth. Everybody that walks out of the class that passes the test, that is, we're going to give them one of these radios. It's theirs personally to keep, and so yeah, we're giving them first class radios, and so we're going to make sure that what they have is working when they walk out the door. High school nets, etc. Next slide, please. Yeah, not there yet. Not sure where we're going to put this repeater. We'll figure that out. It needs to be accessible on this one mountain we have to go up. It's just miserable. I won't even take my own truck. You got to have total Jeep world. We want to figure out what general or extra interests that they have there. Set up the HF station. Again, we want to make them a little self-sufficient to where they can do their own testing. Sure, we'll do it forever. We do it, you know, on a regular basis, testing. But if they want to do that and have the interest, you know, we'll help them get going. And I'll create a little community excitement along the way. Circle back with students, parents, facilities, and in Taos being a very poor place, everything gets translated into job skills. All right, what can I do with this? It's like, well, you could be an engineer, you can know about radio, be an EMT, etc. But yeah, they want to know you can work for the Forest Service. You can go with your family and cut wood. Someone gets hurt, you can save their life maybe. So that's it, using DMR as a STEM foundation for the community. And next slide, please. So visibility leads to opportunity. Dale, our code plug lead guy, he wrote a half-page article in Taos News on field day, did some things at the Chamber of Commerce. But the interesting thing is he got an invitation from the Taos Pueblo, with the radio club did, and he was the one that went out there primarily, took lead on it. And so he assembled a teaching program, demonstrations. We did apply for a small grant for that, but he did radio demonstrations just recently with the summer school that they're having there. Tried to get the repeater concept, a couple folks with Echolink. Oh, these were grade schoolers, by the way. And they had issues with the PPT button, knowing when to push the button and the talk, that whole coordination thing, you know. So that was a learning event for them. And then I thought this was like totally out of the box and really great. CW drums for their native language. Go to the next slide, please. I want to see if this whiteboard comes out. So this is Dale. We couldn't take pictures of the Pueblo. We couldn't take pictures of the kids. There's some with their backs, but it's on the whiteboard there. He has Tiwa and CW spelled out. He got the kids to write their name and try and translate it into CW. These are like 8-year-olds, right? Okay. And he has a picture of the mountain there and all. And then you see on the table a drum, and he was trying to drum out their native language, and the native language teacher for the Pueblo was there, and a former dispatcher from 911. So it was a pretty exciting time, and we'll be going back there. Not sure of what all the future has. That was just a little side bit that we were able to find. So I think that's probably the most fun right there. Dale was all stressed, and he just had a blast out there. So next slide, please. Yeah, when you do work for the community, you always have to think of what's it doing for the community versus what it's doing for me. And just so we're all aware, in April there was a study completed, national value of a volunteer hour on average, $28.54. So we're going to use that number in Taos for various things anytime we're doing outreach to the community. So there's not a free ride in life, and this kind of explains it right there. So next slide, please. Closeout report. So in the closeout report, so we had a $5,000 grant. And I look at if one of those kids decides to become a double E, his lifetime of additional tax paying is going to pay for that grant, you know, just clearly. So that's the payback that I'm going to give to, you know, in the reporting and closeout. There's a lot of folks that, for many reasons, a lot of kids that will never be an engineer, but that's okay too. Can it improve their life, and can it improve their community? And so a single radio in the mountains without cell service, we have a lot of places with those, you know, families cut firewood, they go hunting, they do all types of things in the mountains, you know, can save a life. A helicopter flight's $88,000 to the big hospital in New Mexico, you know, from our little town. So yeah, there's value. And these are just sources of where we have surfed and tracked down grant opportunities. Next, and I think, yeah, that's the end. The end. So I don't know, any questions? I heard training over here, you know, the post-ham folks, so I would afterwards like to talk about any techniques to get people going on ham after they get their license. So, Joe, back to you. Take that one.
I have a, is this one hot? Sorry. You can repeat the question.
Go.
How did you train people on DMR versus analog?
Okay. We're still working on that. I am still working on that. I only got into DMR. Bill sent me a hand-me-down radio, and I played with that. That's very difficult. We're going to like do as much crutch holding as we can, try and break it down. The club is trying to learn DMR, much less the kids. You know, okay?
I've been doing this for 3 years. I ain't figured it out.
Yeah, well, it's that crawl, walk, run thing. I'm still crawling, you know. But our code plug programmer Dale is going to be our license, you know, have like multiple code plugs out there to load up for us. If we don't feel they're ready for Rocky Mountain ham, we won't give them a code plug with that on there. Yeah. All right.
Well, thank you very much for that. Yeah, I'm DMR. All right. Someone told me that. The closest thing I've had is my friend up in Wyoming. He actually teaches this stuff, and he's kind of given me some ideas and stuff like that. Some work, some don't, and he said some wouldn't, some don't. Any questions? Oh, yes, yes. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. What's your title is there, treasurer?
President.
Oh, it doesn't say president. You're just the treasurer. Yeah. Now you're going to have all my staff wanting that. You know that? I just... Is there? Is it? That's kind of the way it's worked out. I was 20 when I started this. Yeah, I wish. That makes you a week less than 35. He's a week younger than I am. Anything else you'd like to talk about? Just anything. Yes, sir. Is there an updated list on the surplus equipment? Yeah, actually, I've been taking the stuff off that was there. The pictures that are there should be accurate. We will take, oh shoot, is that for me? Jim's just ignoring me. Somebody, I have a wife that does that. Let me explain to you how we did. I don't think we really explained that. We ended up with a whole bunch of stuff thanks to two people that actually gave us a bunch of stuff from Greeley and from not Central City. Centennial. Okay. We've got, and I'm not kidding, at least 450, if not 500 feet of hardwire. And we will sell it for less than what we say on there just to get rid of it. We've got to move it. I've been told by two of our people on the staff, you need to get rid of that second shed because sheds are not cheap. They're like $150, $200 a month, and we got two of them. So if anybody's interested in hardline, we'll make you a deal you can't refuse. Okay. The other stuff are different things that we've picked up from that guy down in Centennial, and also a stuff that we grabbed out of Greeley, a place that was closing up over there. I've got approximately 100 to 150 handheld HTs. I'm not sure they work. We're not sure what band they're on. They are Motorola's. And the only thing I've heard of is there's a place in Fort Collins which they will take them if I pay them $2 a piece. And that don't count the battery. So I'm kind of stuck. So we don't know what we're going to do with this stuff. So any offer is accepted wholeheartedly. I had a guy come in there the other day, and I said, he gave me $30 for getting some stuff. I said, well, you paid for it. Now take whatever you want. You paid your admission fee, so come get it. So, oh, by the way, I got rid of the cart. I got rid of the cart. I actually had put it in the guy's truck just to get rid of it. So, yeah, I didn't want it. So if there's anything that's on that list or you're interested in something, give me a shout. Send it to either Darren or me. We're handling the deals. And don't think if you say, well, I'll only give you $5, that's all I got. Hey, that's good. But you got to come get it. And some question was, should we set up a Saturday for open house? Yeah, we'd like to. The problem of it is in September, all our Saturdays are blocked. All but the first one. No, the first one I think is okay. But that's the weekend of Memorial Day, or Labor Day, so that isn't going to work either. But yeah, we could do that. We talked about it forever. So good question. Don't have a good answer, but maybe October. Like I said, there's some stuff we want, but we need to pare down a little bit because we're spending your money on this, and it's not good. Yeah, we could bring 150 handheld radios, and we give them as prizes. Well, you tell them, not me. There's a place in Fort Collins that actually could redo these radios and make them hot again. I think they're commercial, though, so I'm not sure how. Oh, okay. Well, then you could go to 6 meters, but commercial radios require some sort of a license. Normally. It's not everybody's license, but just one person has to have it. Yeah, I think Alexander Graham Bell had one. And he was probably the first. Don't tell these people. Let's just get rid of them and then tell them later. Anybody else have any questions? Well, thank you very much for coming. I do appreciate that. And like I said, if you've got any information you want to help out in 6.8, come on in. We'll do that. I think this is a really good cause for these people. All of these people are volunteers. In fact, I've got an idea where we might be able to put licenses on these people, and then they could do that because they are volunteers and they're not getting paid for it. So that kind of fits into doesn't that work? Okay. I was going to ask you for sure. I have to go to Bob for everything. Like I said, James and him, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have a clue what I'm doing. I'd like to thank my staff here, or the staff of NCARC. These guys will do absolutely anything. It just, there's nothing out of the extraordinary. Dave comes in here and sets up all this stuff, and if it wasn't for him, I don't think it could get done. Jim jumps in whenever we're possible. I have got the best staff in the world. There's no question. When people thank me for doing stuff, you're not thanking me, you're thanking them. They're the people that are actually doing it. I just stand here and talk. And look good. Well, they all got shirts, but they don't want to wear them. Any other questions before I let you all go? Yes, sir, Dick. Oh, yeah. Let's see. No, this is the wrong place for bartenders and waitresses. I work in a band, so you know how it is. Don't forget to tip your waitresses, please, heavily. She has been very, very nice. Thank you very much for all your service. And ladies and gentlemen, good night.
This presentation was brought to you by the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club. For more information, visit our website, ncarc.net. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.